following Oprah's interview with Prince Harry and Meghan Markle last week, Markle's number one bully, Piers Morgan, stormed off the set of Good Morning Britain when he was called out for his attacks on her. And not everyone was celebrating. Sharon Osbourne decided use her platform on the talk and on Twitter, because nothing happens if it doesn't happen on Twitter also. To defend Piers, and she wanted to be a good friend to him and appear as she's really making a bold statement in claiming that his treatment of her is not racist or sexist, which if she'd even bothered to look at anything he's even tweeted in the last 2 years, it's quite shocking. Stuff he said. So she was dragged, and instead of taking it on the chin, like the good mediocre talk show host that she is, Jules, she decided that she would freak out on the air and then attacked and threw her co-worker, a black woman, Cheryl Underwood, under the bus in the process. And the new co-host, Elaine Welteroth, who was hired in January with Amanda Klutz, looked on in horror. And Elaine is, if you have seen photos, she was on Project Runway and she was the editor at Teen Vogue. Right. Very well liked. And she's the one who, after that episode that day, last Wednesday, went and complained to CBS, she and her hairstylist, that it was a racially abusive situation on the set. And it was a hostile environment and racially insensitive. She's the one. That's how it started. So Sharon Osbourne is against the rope. And I mean, yesterday she had Kevin Frazier from Entertainment Tonight come to her house. Sit down and interview her. Oh, she first she was blaming the producers. Then she was blaming everywhere except looking at her own actions. I kind of felt bad for Kevin Frazier, because he's the black guy from Entertainment Tonight. And he's having to try and, talk to her about racism and what she did wrong there. And she's really not owning up to it. But she did say she feels terribly bad about how she treated her friend. She feels terribly bad that she did it on live TV. Lori, that's what she feels bad about. She feels terribly bad because she was so busted. Okay, so here's Gayle King. Or it's not Gayle King. It's John Vigliotti reporting for CBS this morning.
The hit daytime show The Talk is on pause for another week after a very heated on-air debate about race. CBS Entertainment produces this show, and our company is now investigating claims that co-host Sharon Osbourne used offensive language toward her colleagues last week. And now there are allegations that for years she used crude slang terms to describe other co-hosts. Jonathan Bigliotti is outside the Talk studio in Los Angeles with more on this story. Jonathan, good morning.
And good morning to you, Gail. This is where the Talk should be filming today, but its return, as you mentioned, has been put on hold. Sharon Osbourne came under fire last week after defending her friend and British television host Piers Morgan, who, as you recall, is accused of using insensitive language while talking about Meghan Markle.
How can I be racist about anybody or anything in my life? How can I?
We'll be right back.
What?
We have more topics, so don't go away.
And I think we should stop this.
Drama on The Talk unfolded in front of cameras last week between co-hosts Sharon Osbourne and Cheryl Underwood.
I'm asking you again, and don't try and cry, because if anyone should be crying, it should be me. Educate me. Tell me when you have heard him say racist things. Educate me. Tell me.
I would say Sharon has a problem she has created.
Oh, 100%.
And she keeps creating it, and everybody else is suffering because now they're not on hiatus just for 2 days, but until at least next week.
And under investigation. So everybody's job is suffering and not getting paid, and it's going against everybody. But one of the things I think that Sharon Osbourne does is that she just keeps putting it back on everybody else, like what you said, Lori. She's not, she loves Cheryl, she loves that, but tell me again what he did that's racist. But her way that she's blaming the producers that she didn't know it was on the cards.
Every time she opens her mouth to confirm she's not racist, she does the exact opposite. And she has a history of this. I mean, on the X Factor, she left under a cloud of being very difficult to work with.
UK.
The X Factor UK. And then she came out, her publicist, she fired off a cease and desist to Holly Robinson Pete. She's threatening legal action against Leah Remini and other people who talked to Yashir Ali at the Hollywood Reporter.
And these are former Talk co-hosts that are no longer there, that say the reason that they are no longer there is because of Sharon Osbourne.
And again, it is never a good look when a white person is trying to define racism while being accused of racism. Right there's a conflict of interest with themselves, and she just can't see it.
I think Sharon also knows and sees the writing on the wall, because in an interview, she says, I will keep on apologizing to my friend Cheryl Underwood. Even if I decide not to go back, I will still keep apologizing to her. I have nothing but respect, so much affection. I don't want to hurt her.
Well, blah, blah, blah. I mean, she's making a bigger deal about being called a racist than understanding why her actions were racist and why she couldn't condemn Pierce. Cheryl Underwood was on Steve Harvey's podcast, and she said, this came up the last time Pierce Morgan was on our show a couple of years ago. I asked him directly, why are you so racist towards Meghan Markle? And he said, it's not about race. And she said to him, yes, it is. Right. It's about her being black and you're treating her like that. And she thought the next day they would have a conversation about racism on the show. But no. And she said, we've had our first conversation about racism, and I've been here for, since season 2. And it's season 11.
Yeah.
So anyway, in the end, it'll be good. But I think Sharon's gone.
I do too.
Yep.